Hello and welcome to your Wise Leader, How to Lead Yourself. Stop shooting on yourself, let go of the burden and come back home. And who doesn't want to do that? That's what I want to say. Um, it's a masterclass, but it's an interactive masterclass because I find that when we engage and participate, we get more value than when we sit back and just passively receive. So this is the kind of masterclass where I'm going to ask you to engage because I want you, hi, welcome, Sarah, to get maximum value. And if you're listening back to this recording and you've just, started listening, do the same with yourself on this little journey we're going to take today. Delighted to have you all here, whether you're here in person or listening back. Can I just ask you to mute yourselves because sometimes it shows up on the recording later on. So let me just say a few little things about me because some of you I know and some of you I know less. And however you've come to here today, you're totally welcome. I've been working with leaders in business for over 30 years. That feels a long time. There's a point where it kind of doesn't matter anymore how long. After sort of 15, 20 years, it just becomes more years. But what it does give me is a sort of breadth, you could say, of understanding human nature. Because I don't know if everyone realizes this about corporate leaders, but before they are a corporate leader, they're a human being. That was a joke. You may laugh now. But no, it's true. We get these ideas in our heads that, corporate is different. Well, yes and no. They may have different challenges, but fundamentally, we're human first. So some of you ask me, look, I'm not exactly a leader. I might be a coach or a healer or a therapist or, not employed gainfully right now or whatever you are, or an artist even. That doesn't mean that this masterclass isn't for you. Wherever you are in life, whatever you're up against, this is called the Being Human, How to Lead Yourself Through Anything masterclass. I just happen to work with lots of leaders, and this is very relevant to their leadership. So really, this is about leading yourself. So whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever role you're in currently, it's relevant. What else to say? The reason why I know what I know about human beings and leaders in business is because I've literally worked with tens of thousands of them. And in the end, we're all up against the same thing, our thoughts. So this is really, how do we locate ourselves somewhere different? Because there's another part of us, and I'm just going to call it heart and soul for now, that knows what we need. And that's what this masterclass is, to remember that part of you. Remember, it's already there. You already know everything I'm going to tell you today. But sometimes, hi, Laura, we need a reminder to remember what's true. We can't sort the wheat from the chaff. There's too much going on. So this is a little bit of a sort of journey today about I'm going to talk a little bit about how to be here on this call, and that's quite important for you to get maximum value. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. I'm going to share a story of change. Then you're going to share a story of change, but just with one other person, almost certainly a stranger. Don't worry about it. They're human. They've been through shit. So have you. Oh, well. It'll be nice. It'll be nice to share. It'd be like meeting them in a train station, having a chat, and both sharing a moment of your lives together and then parting ways. Sometimes they're the best chats, aren't they? On the train or with a stranger. So don't worry about that part. You just do you. Or you don't have to, because I'm that kind of teacher. Like, do whatever you want. But, you're here, so you might as well. Then we're going to talk about what is at the heart of leading ourselves effortlessly and with ease. I call it the game changer. Dun, dun, dun. Then I will talk for a little bit. That will be the middle bit. And that will be me talking. So you can sit back, relax, and let it soak in. And And then what will we do then? Then we'll look at what gets in the way of this game changer. We'll look at how it works, what it is, how you have more of it, and what gets in the way. And then if we have time, we'll definitely talk about what you can do to have more of this magical power that you already have. And then if we have time, we'll do a little guided meditation to really ground the learning, a little reflective, kind of settling into your skin. If we don't have time, I'll give that to you as a kind of something you can do afterwards. It just depends on how much you guys talk, or maybe how much I talk, but one of those things. But either way, there will be some kind of thing you can listen to that gives you a kind of deeper sense of what we're talking about in your bones. It is interactive. Occasionally, I'll ask you to say something, but on the whole, you'll either be it'll be me, it'll be a pair, and then occasionally I'm going to ask you to say something. And perhaps you can chat in the chat if you want. I'm guessing after COVID, we're all Zoom savvy. We can all chat in a chat box. Yes, just give me a thumbs up or a help now. Okay. Great. I'm going to kick off now. If you've ever worked with me, and I think Laura definitely has, I'm going to introduce to you the 4 ways to be here that are going to make this turbocharge the value of this masterclass. Way one, we live on a speedboat, metaphorically. Boom, 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 faster, faster, more, more, quicker. Everything going so fast around us. We're fast, everything. I call that the kind of speedboat of life. I'm sure it's not just me. What I'm going to ask you to do is get on the barge. Remember that, Laura? Get on the barge. The barge goes so slow you can walk faster than a canal boat goes. That's how slow we want to be today. Just for the next, 80 minutes. Just going to slow right down. Because here's the thing, speedboats get you really quickly from A to B. They're pretty productive. They're on, but you don't see much around you. It's going a bit fast. Whilst when you're on the canal boat of life, you slow right down on the inside. You take in, you get more information. So this is the invitation. Be like on the barge today. Don't be in a hurry. Don't have to get anywhere. I'm driving. It's going somewhere. Just maybe slower than you're used to. And that's good because we can see more. We have more space. So that would be get on the barge. Second thing is, all of you is welcome, the whole of you. So today you might have feelings, anything from peaceful to pissed off. All welcome is here. Like maybe not at me and at each other, but like where you are with you is fine. Anxious, frustrated, curious, skeptical, wherever you are, it's okay. Just be that. All of you is welcome today. Just let yourself be. That's a real superpower because often we're in resistance to our own experience. So you don't need to do that today. You can just be whatever you are. As you listen to the material today, and by the way, I am going to primarily talk, but I have a few slides, but I have a nice juicy slide pack of everything I say. So you will get the key points I'm making today, you will get as a slide pack as well to remind you. So don't worry too much. You can take notes if you want for things that resonate for you, but the content part, I will give it to you, including this. So how we normally approach learning Masterclass, we sit there. I know Nick's here, but like I'm just going to say like good girls with our pens and our notebooks. You just channel your inner good girl, Nick. And it's like, yeah, we're here. We're all attentive. We want to take it all down. We want to learn it all. Yeah, you don't need to do that. So that would be listening from the head to remember everything. This journey is different. There'll be things that you might want to remember. That's okay. But this journey requires you to listen from a different place, to listen from your heart, to be open to the material and to each other. as a one human to another, to be receptive. We all know how to do this. It's exactly what happens when your best mate says, "Oh, I need to talk to you." And then you're like, "Right, I'm there." And you go somewhere and you get some kind of drink and you sit down and you look in each other's eyes and you're like, "I'm listening." That's it. That's the listening I'm talking about. You're not trying to do anything or fix anything. You're trying to receive and just be there present. Do that today. See what that does for you. And the final thing is how you get the most from today is to be good soil. And what I mean by that is soil doesn't do much. It just receives the rain. I'm going to rain. You'll hear other people. They'll have some things to say. We're just going to rain. And the soil receives the rain and somehow it goes where it needs to go, that water, and it waters the roots and something grows. And none of that is effortful. It's about receiving what's there. Some things I might say today are not for you. Don't worry about those. They're not for you. Listen out for what resonates, what nourishes you, what makes sense for you. That's all you have to do. And it might feel familiar or it might feel fresh. Either way, you know it's for you. Could be affirming something you kind of knew, or just, oh, I hadn't thought of it like that. Either way, that's for you. The rest might be for someone else. So be good soil. That's how to be here. And I think what I'm going to do now, I am going to show you a little slide because I like the picture. Now, I'm afraid I haven't got my beautiful team today. They're on holiday. So it's just going to be me and the tech. But I think you can see that picture, can you? Can you see a picture? Pregnant lady? C'est moi. Okay, this is my story of challenge. We had just moved in to our dream. We were renting. We were young, this is my second baby. To a house in St Anne's Wells, opposite St Anne's Wells Garden in Brighton. Gorgeous, lovely big house. And it was an amazing experience to just be able to renovate it. The landlord said, yeah, no problem. I nested. And I actually, yeah, that's, where I had my second baby. And 6 months later, I'm opening an envelope. I'm reading a letter and I fall to my knees wailing. The landlords were kicking us out after 6 months. I had two small children under two. I thought this was a long-term situation and they wanted to sell and we didn't have any rights and that was that. And I was devastated. As you can imagine, I put all my efforts in and I was in shock. I was helpless and I was hopeless, but mostly I was a big fat no. This cannot be happening to me. This is the worst thing. And I couldn't see beyond my feelings in that moment. So that's the kind of facts I had and the feelings I had about those facts. Now, I knew enough to know that I wasn't thinking clearly myself. I was in devastation. So I turned to my friends. That's what got me through that time, talking to people and friends who had some kind of perspective to share. And at some point, they said things like, well, when one door shuts, another door opens, it'll work out for you. I couldn't quite hear it. But then at a certain moment, I think I started to have my own shift in perspective. Those friends started to influence my sense of hope and possibility. And out of that idea of the possibility of maybe there could be something else, I started to take action. And from that action, I swear to God, true story, 3 doors down the road, same view, big house became available to rent, which we were able to stay as long as we wished. And it had two little attic rooms at the top that we weren't really using. And at the same time, one of my close friends sadly lost her husband a year or so earlier and had a 12-year-old daughter. And I was able to provide a safe home, a safe haven for her and her daughter. And she and my family melded as one. And I swear to you, I'm getting the tingles. That was some of the best times of my life. And there's no way I could have predicted that. So when I look back now with hindsight, I can see that it worked out even better than I could have imagined. It all works out. It all works out. So no matter what challenge or change you're up against, your mind will tell you it won't work out. But when you slow down and settle and get a shift in perspective, which you inevitably will, you see that same thing, that same challenge differently. So that's my little story of change and challenge. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask you to do something similar. I'm just going to tell you what we're going to do. You've seen me do it. It's quite short, but I'm going to put you in random pairs and I'm going to ask you to, I'll put these in the notes in the chat, but maybe make a little note of this. What was the change or challenge you were up against? You've all been through something. Let's not have it be something that's hot now. We'll come back to that later. Have it be something from your past, something that you is not hot and you can see with hindsight, it looks different now than it did at the time. So some difficult change or challenge you've already navigated in the past. What happened and how did you feel? Just like I told you, the letter, the despair, the wailing. My au pair had to run down. She thought someone had been murdered because I was wailing like a banshee. True story. Okay, what got you through? So what is it that helped you navigate it? Could be something external, like a conversation with someone or a situation or a circumstance, or could be something within, some kind of grit, some kind of um, determination, or even you suddenly realize something. And then finally, so there are three parts to this. What do you see now that you couldn't see when you were in it? So in my case, that would have been what got me through my friends, and I started to sort of have a little bit of distance. And then what I see now that I couldn't see then, that's the key nugget of insight. In my case, it all works out. It all works out. That was mine. So what I'd love you to do, and I'm going to give you some, I'll let you know when it's time and when it's halfway, is to give you some time just with one person to share your story in that way, one, two, three. And then when we come back, I want to hear a couple of golden nuggets of insight because that's the real output. I'm just going to give you a word of warning. We can easily get into the story of number one and dwell there. So I'm going to say no more than a minute, just like I did it pretty quick. So don't let yourself get too into the story. Focus on what got you through and most of all, the golden nugget of insight. So I'm just going to put us back into groups. Does that all make sense to everyone? The instruction? It's a very juicy exercise. Yes, Sarah.
So I just have one question. Is it an involuntary or voluntary change? Because I can
Doesn't
think of
matter.
things that it doesn't matter. Okay.
Just go with your gut. Which one feels good?
Yeah.
Katerina, you're not on camera. Are you good to do this exercise? Can you just either come on camera or just give me some indication that you're good with joining a pair? Yay! Love. Okay. Now, how many are we? Three, six, eight. We are evens. Okay. Love and even. We're going to do breakout rooms. They're going to do four, and we're just going to see what happens when Zoom puts you with somebody fabulous. Okay. I'm just going to let you be surprised. Now, I'm going to give you about 3 minutes each, and then I'll let you know when it's halfway. and then I'll give you 3 minutes again for the other partner. And then I'm going to give you a minute just to kind of wrap up whatever didn't get said. And then you'll be brought back to the room. Are we all clear with that? So get right into it and just decide who's going to go first. And maybe just the person whose name is closest to A. Just do that. Make it simple. And you'll figure it out. And I'll put the instructions in the breakout rooms and in the chat so you know. But it's basically what happened, how did you feel, what got you through, what's your golden nugget of insight when you look back. Let's do it. Mid-sentence.
Mid-sentence.
Who knew you'd want to keep talking to the stranger? It's so good, isn't it, once you get into it? So thank you. Thank you for playing. And did you each get to tell the bones of your story?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Now, if we were in real life or doing the program that I do, we would now hear all the stories and it would be so juicy and amazing and wonderful. But we're not going to do that because that's going to take a lot of time. But what I want to do is I want to hear from a few of you. Just the answer to that last question. I said, for me, it all works out. What's that kind of nugget of insight that when you look back, you took the hindsight wisdom, you could say. So just who's got something? Yeah, Katerina.
This too shall pass, and have faith. Have faith.
Oh my God, that brings tears to my eyes.
You need to trust your North Star.
Oh my God, that's just got me tingling all over. Because those words mean something to me. They can sound like platitudes, but when you have them in your own knowing, they are your North Star. I love that. And thanks for going first, Katerina, and voicing something. This too shall pass, have faith. Okay, let's have another one. Who else is ready to just unmute yourself?
Yeah, I can share mine. Yeah, my golden nugget, I think I landed on was that I was always going to do it. It was, so it was always going to come together. I was always going to manage it.
It would all be okay, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would all be okay. I could handle it. I love that. I love that, Laura. Okay, this is good. Who else has got one? We'll go as many as you want to go. Petra and then Sarah.
I think mine was, it's okay to let go.
Oh, sorry. I'm that kind of person. I feel that on such a deep level, Petra. I can't tell you.
Thank you.
It's okay to let go. Oh my God, that's gone right to the tingles have gone right to my feet. That rarely happens. That might be a little message from the universe to me directly via you today, Petra.
Oh yeah, well, it moves in mysterious ways.
It does. Oh, Nick, come back to us. Come back to us. Okay, who else? Sarah.
Yeah, mine was about not believing everything my fears were telling me, and change is going to be uncomfortable.
Change is uncomfortable. And is there a second part to that? That's okay.
But well, it was not believing everything my fears were telling me.
Don't believe the fears. Have you seen that sign? There's a sign like outside a zoo, don't feed the fears.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it, but I love it. Yeah.
That's got your name on it. Absolutely. Because we do innocently. Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for coming back, Nick. Okay, anyone else want to share theirs?
Yeah, I can share something.
Yeah, Fiona.
Just I think it was that I can respond differently. I can choose to respond.
I can choose
yeah.
to respond. I have agency. I can.
Yeah.
Wow. See, it's so interesting because sometimes it doesn't look like that, doesn't it? And then it does. And then choice occurs. Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay. Anyone who hasn't said anything yet, would you like to say something? Don't have to.
I had appreciate people around you and also yourself.
That's very deep wisdom, Nick. Appreciate those around.
Us blokes sometimes have some,
Okay. Okay, girls, shut your ears. I think it's quite hard for middle-aged men, to be honest, Nick. Many of us love men. Sorry, middle-aged men. Many of us love middle-aged men, but it's tricky times for middle-aged men. You can't do anything right. Just saying. Okay,
It's
so
true.
appreciate those around us, and
And yourself.
especially yourself. I feel like there's medicine in that for you today, Nick. It's my spidey senses.
Hmm.
Think you might have forgotten that last bit. Just going to put it out there. Okay, Amanda, you've got your mute off, so we're gonna.
Yeah, I interestingly, this kind of relates to a lot of what other people have already said.
Yeah,
I kind of had resilience, like recognizing the resilience,
yeah,
recognizing that sense of being able to endure hard things, trusting in self,
yeah,
letting go of control, and
yeah,
trusting others.
yeah. So I'm hearing I have resilience, I can do hard things, I can let go and trust.
Yeah,
This is summary.
yeah,
Love that. And
yeah.
because we're going to come back to these later, I'd love you to write it that way, Amanda. I have resilience, I can do hard things, I can let go and trust. Because it's got in the imperative tense, it's got some agency. And there's a reason I'm asking you to do that. Nothing wrong with what you said. I'm just pithifying it. That's the new word. You heard it today. Sharon, would you like to go? You don't have to.
What I see now that I didn't see was that life isn't over and that you find a different way to live.
Oh, I'm feeling something pretty big behind this one. You chose a big one, didn't you, Sharon? You chose possibly the biggest one. I'm just going to say it. I can find a different way. That, when you've gone through the big thing like you have, that is a hard one, but extremely powerful insight. Thank you for bringing all of you today. I feel very moved. I don't need to know the content to know the importance of that journey for you. But it's not already visible. I have some weird psychic abilities. Oh, well, what are you going to do? I'm just going with it. I'm a woman of a certain age. I don't apologize anymore for that. Okay. That's very moving. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start moving now to the part where I talk to you about the game changer, and you already know it. And every single one of you has articulated, I feel, quite profound truths that are exactly what I'm talking about. The game changer is your capacity to have for yourself your own insightful wisdom, to see with insight. And it's a sight from within, insight. It is your perspective shifted. And what you see when you look back is the wisdom of hindsight, but it's the same phenomena. It's called insight. And it's something that comes from within you, may be triggered by others externally or circumstances, but it ultimately is a sight that you're having into you from you. And that's why I said to Katerina, those words, this too shall pass, have faith, they're words when they come from outside. We've heard them all. But when they come from inside, they have magical power. Don't they, Katerina? Yes, she even has it on her desk. They mean something to you. And I'm going to explain why this inner game, inner insight, inner wisdom, I call it wisdom as a shorthand for everything, North Star, is everything. And the good news is you've already got it. You've already got this capacity. It's built in to the human design. Now I'm going to talk more about what I mean by this idea of wisdom and and I'm going to distinguish it from something else. So I'm going to use some props, and I'm going to talk to you now about the difference between listening to an inner knowing, heart and soul wisdom versus listening to your head, which can be full of noise and other people's opinions. Or that is definitely not just me, right? that can go on. We can have stories in our heads. Okay. So I just want to make a distinction now. And for that, I'm going to tell a story. So Emma, who has given me full permission to tell her story, worked at M&S, and I met her on a leadership development program where I run leading self and leading others sessions. Laura's been on one of those. And she came on, and she came to the session open-minded. And at the beginning of every session, I asked this same question: what would be a miracle for you? And I say a miracle because it's got to feel like it's a stretch, something you've tried but you haven't quite reached yet. And she said, I've got my miracle. I know exactly what it is, and I know I can't have it. So I'm like, great, that's allowed. Her miracle was to stand in front of senior leaders at M&S, you know what I'm talking about there, Laura, and feel confident and joy in presenting. She was absolutely clear she couldn't do it. And this is why she knew she couldn't do it. This represents all the intellectual, it's my Kindle, all the intellectual knowledge in the world. Other people's expertise, experience, knowledge, facts, data. She'd read every book. She'd studied with every guru on presenting. She'd tried every tip, technique, strategy, approach, plan. She'd even imagined the audience naked. That didn't work for her. Who knows why? It was a study. She had studied. She had all the intellectual information available, and it hadn't made any difference to her actual presenting game. Does this make sense? Get what I'm saying here? So she actually said, I could have written a book about presenting with everything I've studied and everything I know. That's because Emma hadn't had yet her own shift in perspective on the inside, her own insight into herself. 2 weeks later, I swear to God, this is a true story. It's in my book, actually, that's not published, but I can send you the chapter as part of the resources. It's about this subject, the game changer. There's a picture of Emma, actually. So 2 weeks later, we do the follow-up, and she said, I cannot believe it, but I got my miracle. I'm like, wow, that's cool. She said, I'm standing on the stage presenting to my senior leaders, and I'm doing what I always do, which is shit scared, want to be sick, hating it. And then in real time, whilst I'm presenting, I suddenly have an insight, a realization, an aha. I realize I've been putting all my attention on me and how I'm doing and how I'm feeling, and none of my attention on the audience, and that they need to hear from me and they want to hear from me. And she had that epiphany. And the minute she had it, insight is the agent of change. Her perspective shifted back to choice. She suddenly had a choice, Fiona. She could choose to give her attention to the audience, and something happened and she enjoyed it because she was of service. And in that moment, she found the joy and confidence to present. Now, don't mistake Emma having the answer as your answer, because that's just Emma writing in her book. What you need to do is when you're presenting, remember not to be worried about yourself. Remember to be worried about the audience, or have your attention on the audience. See, that's just information from Emma now. It might be a helpful insight. It might help trigger your insight, but insight, this represents insight. Let me just explain. This is my 5-minute journal that sits next to my bed. And when I'm being a good girl, I do it in the morning and the evening. And it's where I write to myself. I'm engaging with my own wisdom, my own knowing. And that's what's in here. It's coming from within me. And this represents what I'm calling insightful wisdom. Head power, logic, rational, step by step, expertise, knowledge, data, fantastic. But without this, it's just too much information. How do you discern in a world of craziness that we live in, where there's too much information and we just literally go on our laptops and we get 16 different points of view immediately that all look like they're verifiable fact? How do we discern? Well, we need our own inner knowing, our own gut feel, our own insight, our own hunch, our own intuition, our own instinct, the part of us that just knows in our bones. And whilst this is something we all have, irrespective of gender, but a mother's intuition is well recorded as just knowing something. So women have developed it in order to care for the tribe. It's a naturally developed skill. And it's a subjective. This you could argue is objective. There's data and facts, but this is subjective, knowing in your bones, knowing for yourself. Einstein said, the intuitive mind, wisdom, is a sacred gift. We've all got it. We've all been given it as humans, the capacity to have this. And the rational mind, its faithful servant. We've forgotten the gift and made the servant the master. There's a consequence to that. If we lose touch with our heart and soul and only be led by the head, that creates challenges for humans. So I'm proposing that we let wisdom lead. And wisdom will take you to, I don't have enough data on that. I need to study. So it's not bad. This is not bad. This is fantastic. But it doesn't lead on its own without the human inner knowing. So I'm going to say to you, that's the game changer, your own capacity to have wisdom. And I'm just going to talk to you a little bit more about how it works and what gets in the way. So a couple of other qualities about wisdom. You know what I said about Emma on the stage? She was in the moment doing a thing and she had an epiphany in real time, in the present moment. So your presence is key. It's a now phenomenon. Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves, not just sometimes. We think about all the things that are going to happen. None of those things happen because when we get to it, we know what to do. Oh, what am I going to cook? What am I going to cook for that? What am I going to cook for that? And then all of a sudden you're in the supermarket and you're like, I'll cook that. And all the what am I going to cook bits are optional. Because when it's time to decide what to cook, wisdom says, do this. We are designed literally to meet the needs of the moment, to be fully present in all of our senses, sniffing the wind like our ancestors did, listening, hearing, feeling, sensing, and knowing what is needed right now. Sometimes planning is what is needed. If you want to go to, I don't know, a trip and you want to go when everyone can come with you, you have to set a date. You know, it's not like never plan. But then when the date is set, then you let it go. You take the right next step and then you'll know when it's time to choose the place. So really it's a now phenomena. It's there when you need it and not ahead of time. And you can hear it more clearly when you are settled and quiet in your mind. And whatever comes is designed for you. Personally, designed for you. I just did a follow-up coaching call with somebody who was on my Wise Leader Circle, and she had a lot of shoulds, and we'll talk about that in a minute, about what she should be doing and what she, and she had a lot of rationale. And then I just got her to close their eyes for a minute, and I asked a question. What is X beneficial for you? And just received the answer. And she knew straight away when she came, when she stopped, when she listened within, her body knew, her being knew, and the rest was just noise. So we have this capacity to slow ourselves down, get present, do what makes sense to get present, and we'll come on to that later. So the other aspect about how wisdom works is when you are calm and quiet, connected with yourself, just being you, I call that your capacity for innate well-being. When you're just being the you-ness of you. And the way I described it is like when you don't have you on your mind. How you're doing, what other people think about you, you just don't, what's going to happen. You don't have any of that on your mind. You're just being you in the moment. You're in contact with your true self, your essence. And that part has direct channel to wisdom. So there's a relationship. When we go on holiday and we sort of put everything down and we suddenly get ideas because we've taken the pressure off, that phenomena is not to do with the holiday. It looks like it's the holiday. It's not the holiday. It's when we put the noise down. So I've got a little metaphor for that. We shake our little heads with snow globes, with thoughts, the past and the future and what's wrong with us and all the things. That's what gets in the way. The not being here now. When we get into the present moment, however we do, the noise settles and we can have access to our own wisdom and well-being. Bad news, we're the shaker. We're the shaker. And we don't even realize we're doing it. We're doing it because we're trying to make ourselves or something better. But first, we have to be in contact with our, you could say, higher self, best self, real self, true self, the part that just is being. So what gets in the way? I would say any thoughts that take us away from the present moment and are filled with shoulds. I should do this. I should be better. I should fix this. Anything that we're feeling bad about from the past or anything that we're feeling worried about in the future, noise. Drivers, I should please people. I should make them happy. I need to prove myself. I need to achieve a lot of things. So I don't even know why. I just know I do. But probably so I can feel in control. This is the human condition. Guilty. We all do it. Some of us do it with awareness. Some of us do it not even realizing we're doing it, thinking we're doing the best we can, because we are. Ultimately, anything that is a resistance to this present moment is going to create some noise and tension and pressure. I call that the gap. So there's how things are. What is happening? What is real? What is now? And there's how you and me think it should be. The gap is your stress. You can apply that to yourself. I should be different. They should be different. The world should be different. But this is how it is. The gap is your stress. So you've got a couple of options. Option A, I'm very familiar with this one. Get really busy and try and change all the things in the world so they can be more like I think they should be. Control the shit out of it, basically. It's an option, and sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes you just got to go in that kid's bedroom and go, right, this is getting tidy today because it should be tidy. You can or not. The other option is to let go of the shoulds and accept what is as it is. Now, this is very Buddhist. We've heard this before. But what becomes available in non-resistance or acceptance or embrace or allowing reality is peace. It is what it is. And that's okay. Even if, I'd like it to be different, it is what it is. And in the space of peace, that's when new thought can emerge. That's when you can hear your wisdom. That's when you get a fresh perspective. So the gap is your stress. Now, there's a couple of issues. The other option is be stressed, okay? We all know that one. It's not like this is how it is, this is how it should be, I'm stressed. So just for a minute, I just want you to look at the reality. When we're stressed, we are terrible fortune tellers. We look in our crystal ball through the eyes of stress and we only see problems and what's going to go wrong and I'm going to end up like a bag lady. I know that thought. I'm going to end up like a bag lady and it looks real. I'm just going to quickly tell you, if you've read my recent article, I thought I'd have no friends. Amanda is actually my friend who lives a lot of the time in Spain and an old and dear friend. Our kids are best friends. In my head, I've got no friends in Spain. No friends. That was how it looked to me. And I would be lonely on my little balcony looking at the Mediterranean on my own. This looked real. Like I know I had friends, but I just would never get out of my balcony. And look, it's obviously crazy to you now, and especially Amanda, but it is true story. When those thoughts look real, they look real. And inside, I was feeling lonely, depressed, sad, and scared because my future was going to be filled with no friends. I'm laughing now. I was not laughing when it was looking real because I was making a big move. I was leaving behind London, coming to Spain, letting go of a lot of, rich interaction, feeling like I was going to be lonely here. That looked real. I'm a terrible fortune teller. Do you know what I did last night? I went to an hour down the road, Salobreña. I did a pottery class. No one spoke English. My Spanish isn't great. And I had a fantastic time. Made some pottery, made some friends. That's the reality. But I'm telling you, I am not underestimating. When I was in the noise in my head, that was not available as an option. We're terrible fortune tellers. And even if the worst thing happened, and I'm not going to lie, I've lost my sister, my dad, and my mother-in-law. Or they've passed. I don't know if I've lost them actually, but they've passed on to another plane. And now a woman my age, one of my close friends. So I know grief. But I'll tell you, it didn't look the way I thought it would. There's a lot of beauty in it, and a lot of peace, and a lot of love, and all the other things. But we don't know. I'll remember one of the most peaceful, profound moments in my life was standing next to my sister's deathbed. Because there was nowhere to go. There was nothing. This was what is. And when you can be with what is, peace arises, even at the worst moments. We forget when we're stressed that our perspective can change. We forget that we have our own knowing. That was what happened on this coaching call just before. This woman knew she had wisdom. She was gifted, intuitive, but she'd forgotten. She'd forgotten and she was focusing on all the stuff that was in her head. And she forgot that she has the wisdom. And the minute she had contact with it, she knew what to do. Okay. So how can we have more wisdom? Obviously, that's the $60 million question. Well, the first thing we've got to do is notice that we're shaking our snow globe. Innocently doing it to ourselves, but we're doing it. And the best access is your bad day. When I'm impatient, frustrated, surrounded by fools, and everyone is going too slow, and why do they not understand what I understand, especially my husband? That's a sign. Your bad day. So some of us get all pleasy, some of us get all withdrawn, some of us get all nitpicky, some of us get, trying too hard. Some of us get chaotic, create distraction. Don't look over here. You'll know your flavor. Some of us are bossy, ruthless, bitchy. That'll be me. That's my sign, like a traffic light, that I'm away from home. Because normally I'm lovely and kind and fun and open-minded and flowing and practical and gracious and all these lovely delights, delighted with life. That's my true self. And you too, in your own way. Your natural gifts, when you're kind of just being you and your natural gifts are coming out, that's the real you. And then this bad day version of you is the temporary stressed one. And that's the sign to stop. Okay? So notice you're doing your bad day, you. On the slide pack, I'll give you a list of bad day behaviors and you'll recognize some of them. Notice it. Be nice to yourself. Go, oh, you're away from home. Okay, stop. Pause. Breathe. And I am not kidding about breathing. If I could offer you one thing, it would be a breathing practice. Do a breathing practice. Find a breathing practice, just a couple of minutes a day. Regulated breathing, in for 3, out for 6. Let's just all do it now 3 times. Let's just do that. Just close your eyes, feet on the ground. Breathe in for the count of 3 and hold, and out for the count of 6. Okay, start. Hold and out for the count of 6. In, hold, and out. And one more time. In, hold, and out. And come back. I feel even more here. Do you? Just did breathing. This is absolutely, the body forgets to do all of these things when we're caught up. And I can feel my voice is slower and more in my heart. And I was feeling pretty good before. So there's something just as simple as a breathing technique or stopping or knowing what works for you. Pause, breathe, do what makes sense. Listen to your own wisdom about what you need. That could be anything. Have a bath, go for a run, phone a friend, do your spreadsheets, make dinner, do something with your hands, fold the laundry. Get that thing off your to-do list. Forget your to-do list. You have your own inner guru who knows what you need right now to come back home to yourself. Do that. And when you're back home, you're more okay with not knowing. You're more okay with uncertainty. And you can await further instructions because wisdom is a present time phenomena and it has your back. It will give you what you need when you need it. That's the design of us. Now we can get in our own way. but we've seen the consequences of a certain kind of thinking on that. So the truth of the matter is this: we either know, and I mean know in our bones, or we don't know. That's it. They're the two knowings. No, not intellectually. It might match an intellectual knowledge, but know in your bones what's right for you, or we don't know. It is okay to not know. We will know when we need to know, because wisdom will have our back and give us the nudge. That's it. So therefore, it makes sense to me to bring ourselves into a space, a settled space where we can receive our own instinct wisdom, we can hear them. That make the space for yourself in whatever way makes sense. Go do chanting. Like last night, I didn't have a thought about myself. I didn't even care about my Spanish. I was just excited that someone understood me. You know, it's like when we just use your hands. Busy mind, busy hands, very good. Knitting, crocheting, chopping, making something, very, very good use. That's why men have a shed. Do you have a shed, Nick? That's why men have a shed. So they can do something with their hands. Chop some wood. It's great. It's great, great way of releasing. Okay. Last thing I want to say before we move into a more interactive piece. Wise leaders often are concerned about the well-being of their team, or wise parents want their family to be well, or in a community setting, you want those around you to thrive. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you'll be in some kind of community and you'll want the people around you to do well. So here's the single most useful thing you can do. Wise leaders go first in regulating themselves, in settling themselves and modeling the way for others. You're on a plane, you've got a baby, the baby's screaming, you're stressed, the baby's stressed, you're stressed, the baby's stressed. It's a vicious circle. Some kindly stewardess or grandmother swoops in and goes, shall I give you a break? It's a long haul flight. Nobody loves that. So, shall I just give you? And this grandmother picks up the baby, and within minutes, the baby's calm. It's because the baby wants to go in the direction of a settled nervous system, and they're now experiencing that through this calm, neutral grandmother or hostess who isn't wound up by the baby and wishing the baby would shut the fuck up in the same way. It is actually the grandmother's settled energy that transmits to the baby. There's a whole lot of study around this, but just take my word for it. Anyway, you don't need to study. Your common sense tells you. You want to be, when you're in a meeting and you go into work and there's a table of people and you want to go, you have to sit down somewhere and you see two seats. And one is like a really agitated, anxious, stressed person. There's a seat next to them. Or there's a seat next to Bill. Bill's just really chilled. He's like, hi, how you doing? You're like, I think I'm going to go sit next to Bill. Right? Because your body knows that's nicer over there. Leaders go first. So, having listened to all of this and reflecting on your own insight from earlier this morning, or when we did the exercise, I would like you to grab a little bit of paper and just reflect for a moment now, having reflected on today's call. It could be the wisdom that you had from your story of challenge, or something fresh might have popped up in this little talk. What advice would you give yourself right now next time the ground shifts beneath you. So just take, some thinking time, make a note. What advice would you give? And give it like you would give it to a person. So, it's okay, this too shall pass, all the things you said. You've got this, whatever it is. I'll just give you a little moment to think. Okay. I would love to hear just the shortest version of it. We've kind of developed this connection now, so I'm just love to hear something from everyone. So I'm just going to say your name. Laura, what advice would you have for yourself?
My advice is about my daughter, and so my advice to myself would be that she's going to be who she's going to be.
Great. Thank you. Petra?
Sorry. I love the idea that the shaking up is my bad day is the shaking up and not allowing me to see. So I would ask myself or ask another person, why? Why are you shaking it up? What is unsettled? What are you avoiding? And what do you need?
Yeah, I like the what do you need piece the rest optional, I'd say. The speedy solution is what do you need? I feel like that gets to the heart really quick. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
I should have said I might tighten up because we're going to do an exercise. We're going to have time to do the guided visualization. So I want you to work with a really tight version of what you're saying. And for you, I'm going to say, I ask myself, what do I need?
Okay.
Or ask myself or others, what do you need?
Yeah.
Okay. Katerina?
For me, what stands out most is take time out.
Beautiful.
Take the time out.
Take time out. Beautiful. Love that. Sharon?
Don't believe it's true what you're thinking whilst you're in a thought storm.
Okay. So don't believe it's true when I'm in a thought storm. Okay?
Well, I don't believe it's true what you're thinking.
What you're
whilst
thinking.
you're in a thought
Yeah,
storm.
what you're thinking. Okay. Fiona.
I'm rubbish at keeping things short. I just every time something has felt overwhelming or insurmountable or scary, each time I have prevailed and actually flourished and learned something about myself.
Okay, so I'm going to say I always prevail and learn and flourish.
Okay.
Because the context is a difficult thing anyway, so we don't need that part. So I always prevail and learn and flourish, just tight and true, no matter what. Nick, what you got for me?
It's okay to stress, but don't allow stress to make your decisions.
It's okay to stress. I love that little nuance, but don't let it make decisions. Love that.
And breathe.
And breathe. I'm going to say breathe first for you. Breathe. It's okay to stress, but don't let it make your decisions. Good. Amanda?
I need to unmute. I've got you'll be okay. You'll make it work one way or another.
Absolutely true. That's the evidence. Okay. So taking whatever version of your statement you like, whether it's mine or yours, that's all good. It will be okay. You'll make it work no matter what. I misquoted you there, Amanda, but whatever you've got. Okay. So we're now going to do a little short, it's called technically future pacing. And at some point, I'm going to ask you to do this. do an okay and press. And that's what's called an anchor. So every time you do that, you'll remember this moment. It'll come back to you. It's kind of creating a physical anchor as a reminder. So I'll ask you to do that at some point. And then what we're going to do, this is what athletes do when they really want to perform well. They put their minds deliberately in the future, imagining themselves capable and handling it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that statement that we've just created for ourselves, our own self-advice, our own wisdom. We're going to project that into the future the next time shit goes down, and we're going to see what difference our own advice would make to us. And that's called future pacing. It's what athletes do to make them successful. So I'm going to suggest we all do this. I'm going to say, why don't you switch your cameras off? I'll keep mine on. So you just feel really private with this. And I'm not going to know if you do it or not. You don't have to, but I recommend you do. Okay, so sitting comfortably, feet on the ground. Just take a look at what you've written, the words that you want to work with, and go on mute if you can. You're all on mute because I'm going to ask you to read it out loud and adjust it if you need to, and really let it land. And just notice how it feels in your body as you say those words. And notice how it moves you towards a sense of inner security and calm. Good. Now I'd like you to close your eyes and imagine yourself in a moment in the future. You're feeling unsettled or uncertain. It could be a change, could be one you're currently navigating, could be a crossroads that you don't know how to handle, could be something unexpected comes your way. And what feels at stake? Just allow yourself to feel that for a moment. Why is this a challenge? Now I'd like you to bring your own words back to this challenge. Say them to yourself, your own wisdom, and let that wisdom come alive inside you. Just let that percolate through and see what shifts when you apply and listen to and embrace that wisdom that you just gave yourself. Notice what shifts in your breathing, in your posture, in your thinking. In your feelings. This belief is embodied now. Notice how you stand. Notice how you see that situation. Notice how you respond. What is different now? You are leading yourself from the inside out. Not forcing, not controlling, just letting your own wisdom lead you. Just dial that up a little and really let your own nervous system register that you've got you. And as that feeling intensifies, I'd like you to make that okay sign and press very hard between your forefinger and your thumb and capture it. Lock in that state. Lock in that belief and lock in the physiology, the body. And release. And take a deep breath. And release. And that is your anchor. That okay is your anchor. And when a real moment arises, you can connect with that part of you just by triggering that okay. Your body will remember. And just enjoying that. What you can do practically after this session is you can put your own words somewhere where you will see them on your desk, your phone, your mirror, in your journal, and let them remind you you already have what you need. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, wriggle around, come back in the room, and please put your cameras on so we can wrap up. That was nice. I hope it was nice for you. I hope it gave you a little moment of pause and peace and something to do next time. I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk about what I'm up to, and then I'd love to just hear any final thoughts from anyone and all questions. So this is a free masterclass, but in September, I'm doing a 10-week program called the Wise Leader Circle, which is all about how to lead yourself. There are 3 keys that are universal to every human being, and then there are 3 personal keys that'll be unique to you. It's a profound journey. You can see all about it. I'll send you the link if you want to, if you're intrigued. And I keep it to a maximum of 8, which is more or less what we've had, because you can go intimate and people really get to know each other and go deep. So I totally recommend that. You get a one-to-one with me as part of it. And if you are attracted, I'd say get in on it quickly, because I've got an early bird offer, which is you get an additional coaching session with me if you sign up by Monday. So got to make the announcements, There's also will be another couple of free masterclasses that will follow this format. And if you want to get another top up, or you want to bring someone or send someone, they'll be at the end of August and again in the beginning of September. So I do really love doing these because they're real, they come from my heart. And I think what we covered today is the single most useful thing anyone could ever know. So I feel like it's like God's work I'm doing here and sharing what I know to be true. And, hopefully that you found that helpful today. So I'll send you thanks, Katerina. I'll send you the handouts, which are kind of reflect everything we've covered, so you can look back, and I'll send you the recording. Obviously, if you're listening back later, you've got the recording. And yes, some of the resources that I offer that are free. So I will also send those to you, because there's plenty of those. Okay, I think that's it from what I wanted to do today. So would anybody like to either ask a question or make any observation about their journey today? And then with just one last thing, which will take 60 seconds to wrap us up. So over to you. Observations, questions, comments, anything anyone would like to say to complete their masterclass.
Hi, I'd like to say thank you, because like you said at the beginning, the concepts aren't particularly new, but somehow every time I hear something in these times, since basically double bereavement, it lands differently, and it feels like it's so important to keep repeating the the message and to just have it land. And it's just so that's really lovely. And every time I hear it or feel it, embody it, makes me feel a bit wider and a bit broader. And so thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. And I want to thank you for making the priority to make space and time for yourself today,
Thank you.
because that was probably what's done the heavy lifting. You choosing you. Well done. Thank you. Thank you for that, Petra. We all know it. We all know it. And thank you, Fiona. A thoughtful piece of time during the day, a great gentle reminder to pick up my journaling again. Yes, that's your wisdom. I didn't tell you to journal. You knew something, right? Yeah, beautiful. I love that. Anyone else want to say anything?
I would say, like, similar to Petra, it's just every time you hear it, it just kind of reminds you. And I felt like I needed the reminder at the moment. So it's good. It kind of sets you off, kind of changes course a little bit, doesn't it? If you were heading in like stress direction, it's like, oh no, I'm going to rethink that. So yeah, perfect timing. Thank you.
Top up. Beautiful. Thank you, Laura. Great to see your lovely face. Katerina.
I've started my day being incredibly stressed.
Oh, wow.
To a point where I thought I just couldn't cope because a lot is going on at the moment, which it is, but that doesn't mean you can't step away from it. And basically, when your reminder came up, I thought, I don't think I can even do the class. And then something shifted, and I thought, no, I am choosing to do the class because this amount of stress is just not helpful. As the class was going, I kind of thought, no, I'm taking a half day off. I need that for myself. I need the time off. I will bring my laptop with me to the island because I'm taking a break with the children on the island for the weekend. But yeah, I think that's a good enough concession given the amount of stress I was in and how I felt this entire morning. So thank you for holding the class. Thank you.
That's joy, music to my ears. But what I want to say is to us all, isn't that such a great example of purpose-built wisdom for Katerina in the moment, directly relevant to her current situation that wasn't there before this? She contacted her wisdom. She didn't call her wisdom. Hello, what should I do? Oh, half laptop, yes, but half day off and on the island. You got what you needed, right? Amazing. That's how it works, everyone. You just saw it live. Love that. Thank you. Anyone else? You don't have to say anything, but you can.
I want to say thank you as well. And I particularly enjoyed the breathing. It just made me feel so relaxed. It was just fabulous, and it was lovely to do that as part of it. And when we were doing the sort of the meditation thing towards the end, I just got this message which felt like it was my wisdom speaking to me, and it said, "You are resourceful."
Oh my God!
And that was just what I needed to hear. It was that reminder, it is going to be okay because you're going to make it okay.
Because you can, because you're a resourceful queen.
Yeah. So that was really, really powerful for me. So thank you very much.
Oh, just a joy, just a joy. I mean, we all drink from the same well, this is the human. Nobody's above each other or knows more, we just, when we come back home, there we are. And if we co-create this space together and it nourishes your soul, that's, you're drinking from the same well that we're all drinking from. It's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like I'm just going to do the final thing now, which is just everyone gets a word. So you don't get away with saying nada. You have to say something. And it's really what word you would use to sum up where you are right now after having done this little journey of 90 minutes, which you've all done brilliantly. And Sarah had to leave. She said a nice goodbye, but she had to go. I understand 90 minutes is long. People expect 60. What are you going to do? But I try and we can't do this in 60. I don't think. Can we? Not if we get on the barge, maybe on the speedboat, but then, Okay, so I'm just going to say your name and just give me a word for you where you are now after 90 minutes. Fiona.
Balanced.
Oh, joyful. Okay. Love that word. Sharon?
Peaceful.
Peaceful. Balanced, peaceful, beautiful. Katerina?
Same as Sharon, peace.
Gorgeous. Nick.
Reflectful.
I have a feeling you quite like that space, do you, Nick?
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
good
I need to sort of, yeah, sometimes you need to take a step outside of yourself and look at yourself and take a little bit of a look.
Yeah, so just reflectful and rumination, they're different, aren't they? Rumination's sort of hard, but reflectful is spacious. I love that word. Lovely.
Yeah.
Laura?
Perspective.
Oh, lovely. Petra? Oh, can't hear you.
So sorry. Grounded.
Love. And Amanda?
Optimistic.
Optimistic. Okay. So I'm just going to give you a little clue because I don't control those words. They're true words. That's who you really are. That's who you really are. That's what's really going on when the noise settles down. So that's your thought for the day. Go in that space into your day. Thank you. And I'm on time, which is a miracle. And you can listen back. Obviously, I'll send you the notes. And thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Go well.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye bye.